Yourselves?
I am Tia Barnett.
Michael Barnett.
We are originally from Missouri, and we moved up here not more than a year or so ago. 2 years?
About 2 years ago.
So we moved up here. We got into some really bad stuff in our addiction, really bad, dark, deep. Almost lost our kids. We were staying in a hotel room. We were homeless. We didn't have God in our lives. It's the only path we did not take in our life. In our past, we both had made decisions. We both were really, like I said, we were in foster care. We were young. We didn't really know how to be in a relationship, so we made a lot of problems there. We were not married. We were just in a relationship for about 14 years, but during that relationship, we were heavily in use of alcohol and drugs. During that time, having kids we thought would help us and keep us from getting out of trouble or keep us in line.
It helped for a little bit, until they got a couple years old. And then we figured, okay, we learned from our mistakes, and then, well, we can do it, just on the weekends, and, get back into it.
Do it by ourselves.
And that wasn't the case, And just downward spiral, man, just deepest, darkest place we've ever been,
Came here, ended up at the hotel, almost homeless. And then we met someone who kept asking us over and over again, a certain person.
Candy, not to drop her name.
Over and over again to come to church, which actually saved our life because she was so persistent. Like every day for almost 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
She would even stop at the front door and honk.
Yeah, we'd hide in there and peek out the curtains, all high and paranoid.
And then we finally came, got baptized, got married.
Started seeing Jeff originally here for marriage counseling.
Yeah.
Before we started coming heavily.
And like I said, it was the only path we did not take. It was the only, and it's been the easiest one yet.
Yeah.
For sure. In fact, you came without me first because I wasn't ready.
We were on the verge of, well, I wouldn't say getting divorced because we weren't married yet, but on separating. I just got out of jail. Some bad things had happened, so we were done. There was no family plus about it. We were done. I had a friend, Candy, who wanted us to go to church, and so I
wasn't ready yet because I was never really. I was always like was really skeptical of the whole God thing, but I've always wondered, why are these people always so happy? What is up? What is the deal? What's the catch?
So we're in the middle of the fight, and I go over there and tell her, hey, we're going to church, and she didn't want to go. So I went the first time with me and the boys.
Which was a surprise in its own, too, because I'm like, whoa, hey. If Mike said you just got out of jail, you were probably pretty messed up. And then you decided to take the initiative.
And I've been to lots of churches, and it never felt like home like Grace.
We were never looked down on, never.
Yeah, everyone here's known our story from day one.
And that was my biggest fear, was coming in and everybody were like, oh, how are you? Or putting their nose in the air or making you feel different. This really feels like a home. They hug us. When we come here, this is truly our family. It really is. So we have actually everything. I mean, it's been amazing. Ever since we started going here, as cliche as it sounds, our life has never been better. Never. Pastor was talking, it was my 3rd time ever attending. And we have done a lot of things in our past, a lot of stuff that we regret or that we're embarrassed or shy of. And he talked about forgiveness. And my whole life growing up, I've always had a Bible verse of John 3:16 in my, it's the only Bible verse I ever learned. And we came here, and Pastor talks about that verse and how God forgives. Mike looked at me, he's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, someone forgives us. For me to cry again. Someone forgives what we've done to ourselves, to our children, to our life. He forgives us. The one who gave, you know what I mean? It's just, so that's what it was for me.
It made us realize if he forgives us, then,
we can forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
We're actually pretty awesome. I mean, I am. I think our struggles is a lot of people look down at us for becoming saved, for accepting God into our hearts. We had to let go of everybody or relationships that frowned upon us. It was hard to live life through Christ because we didn't know how. We had so many questions. We didn't know if we were doing it right, or if there was a certain way, or if we had to act a certain way, or like just going down that path of sobriety and in the like God's hands. We didn't know how to. That was our struggle.
It's turning your back on everyone and everything you've ever known. You know,
for something that you've never
family
even
included. I've had to cut ties with my brothers and sisters, my mother, because they were against suddenly finding God, and you know that was pretty hard for me to have to do. And just running into people in town that you used to hang out with, and then saying, "Oh, you know, like you're too good for us now." You know, not a hi, not a hello, or you got to cut all those ties. And I think that was the hardest for me, was cutting all the ties, because there was people who, in our addiction, there's good people who are addicted, and they meant well, and they did do good by us, you know, some people, and those are the hardest ones, I think, was to
when you know that they have the same as we did, like they have the potential to be more than what they are. That's what's hard. And then you see them in the store and you're like, it's hard, it's kind of triggering, you get triggered by it, but at the same time you don't want to be that person, you didn't want people to be to you. So that was our struggle. And then, but you know, it's all made up for it because since we've been here, like I said, we've been baptized, we've gotten married. Our relationship has been, like amazing. Like again, as cliche as it sounds, like our life is really we never really argue. It's kind of annoying. Like, it's like so boring now because. And then we've also got our first home. We've never had a home. We have never had our own place to call home, or our kids have never had a home. So
in such a short period of time, too.
1 year.
That's why we're excited to see what else is to come. You know?
Like I used to hate going to bed at night because I would think about my problems. Now I can't wait to go to bed and get up the next morning. So I want to see what's going to happen next.
I've taken the boys fishing lots of times, but I've never really been there. You know, and I ended up taking them one day, and it was just me and the two boys. And I was actually paying attention this time, you know what I mean? Not getting frustrated because they keep getting their lines caught, you know, every 2 seconds. You have to fix their lines and everything. And
you enjoyed the moment.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the moment. I enjoyed when my oldest, he looked back at me and said, "Dad," he's all like, "Thank you." I'm like, "For what?" He's like, "For being here." And I'm like, he's so smart, like knowing like I wasn't there before.
We used to be ashamed of them saying they were proud of us. We used to be like, that, our kids shouldn't say that. But they're going to see the life that we built for them, and they're going to see how we did it through God. Like that's so cool how they're going to see every step. So I'm proud of them to say, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm proud of you." And it's like that is just giving me goosebumps right now. So it's really amazing that they get to So it's pretty awesome, and they get to see the whole, like they saw the baptism, they got baptized with us. Like how cool is that? They were here to get married with us. I mean, they've been through it all. They've been there, and they're so resilient. They've seen everything and become just as strong, if not stronger than we have. The church is our mom, and God is our father. I would say that if we could do it, after being in addiction for 14 years, anybody really can. And again, another cliche remark, like if we could do it, you could do it. But from where we came from homelessness to almost losing our kids to being addicted to drugs.
Out of jail.
Like
that. You know, and now I couldn't see it any other way. Like I ran with gangs, I've done some awful things, you know, and honestly, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I wish I would have done it a long time ago.